Hi, I wanted to pop on here and tell you one food, if you just had to remove one food from your diet so that you could lose weight as a woman over 50, what would it be? And also, one of the things that I'm going to add at the end as well is what's one diagnostic test you can do to move the needle and to get slender for summer? So let's dive into this. First of all, I want to show you and tell you about why I am qualified to lead you on your weight and health journey. Because I am not only a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, but I also have the lived experience, and I know what you're going through, and I know how you're struggling, and I understand how it feels. So I'm Lori Balue, and let me tell you a little bit more about my journey. Let me get some water here. So here's part of my journey that I have been on and why I have been struggling with weight loss and why it's so important that we make the changes that we need to make, because it's not just about weight loss, but it's getting healthy to lose the weight, but feeling good in the process. So I had been overweight as a child, and I think I got up to at least 200 pounds. And I also had depression. So of a child of 7, I was the only one that was overweight, and I was the only one that had this major depression issue. My mom did put me on an Atkins diet, and it did help me lose some weight and kind of stabilize. But at the time, it was just a diet for me. So I didn't really get the health that I needed to long term because I didn't know why I was doing it or what was even going on in my body. So part of the problem is we just don't know what's going on in our body. We just know that we're overweight, we are tired, we have brain fog, we don't feel good, and our cravings are out of control. And who wants to live like that? It's no fun. So I had tried all the diets, been on the Jenny Craig. I remember going to get some kind of electrical charge thing back in the day. I don't know I think I might have tried Weight Watchers, but I think I was doing Jenny Craig. Excuse me. And I tried all the diets. I did the Susan Powter diet. If you've heard that story, I did do the Susan Powter diet, and I cut all the fat out, lost some weight, had a couple more kids, corrected PCOS by losing the weight, but I was still unhealthy. And every time I'd lose the weight, it was a spring, and it would just, all the fat would come back, and I'd be miserable again. And so I never was able to keep the weight off. And so, that was hard. I mean, I lived like that. I lost my 30s and my 40s to being overweight and depressed and trying to figure all this out. So I was very repressed back then, and I didn't have any pretty clothes to wear because I don't like looking at myself in the mirror. And I remember when we go to the mall, I'd get my Seeds candy, and I'd get my Mrs. Fields cookie. Do you remember those? And I'd look at those mirrors like on the escalator, and I'm like, have I gained the weight back yet? Because it always just came back. And there were times where I would just eat like some pecans. I would get those roasted pecans. Maybe I was thinking I was good to do that, but as long as I fed sugar to my body, I was always going to have the appetite to go and seek out more food. And so I needed more of a solution that was going to turn off my cravings so that I could be more successful in what I'm doing. And I remember, trying to seek help from the medical system. Like I went in to check to see, what was wrong with me back in my mid-30s, and they said I was PCOS and infertile, and gave me a couple of shots, laughed at me, sent me out the door, no help whatsoever. I didn't understand any of it, and I didn't do any research because I didn't know that I had that kind of power. And then as I got older, the kids were older, I started to, I had some kind of a blood problem that I went to the doctor. They said I had low platelets or something. And every month I'd go in, they'd check my blood, and they didn't do anything except take my money. And so I never had any answer to what was going on, but this is what I did. I actually went on a low carb diet. I went on the Atkins diet, dropped 11, 12 pounds, and the problem went away. So whatever was developing, I nipped it in the bud. And then I always treated it as a diet. I didn't actually stay on it long term because I didn't understand enough of why I needed to. So there was the HCG diet. I started following the paleo diet. It was always too much sugar in the diet for my body because this is what was happening with my body. I had insulin resistance. And that was what was causing the PCOS. So I was struggling with insulin resistance for so many years, like most women are doing this at this time of our lives in the environment we're living in. We are becoming estrogen dominant. We have not enough hormone. The hormone balance isn't there. We have PCOS, and until we hit perimenopause, then we have hormone dysfunction. We go crazy, have anxiety because the hormones are not balanced. And then we hit menopause, and then you have low estrogen, so the hormones are unbalanced. But the whole problem that's happening, and the reason we feel so miserable, is the blood sugar imbalances and the insulin resistance that is the precursor to all of this. And so I remember going to a doctor and asking one time, I said, I feel like I have a rapid heart rate. And I would take, I asked him what was wrong, and he couldn't tell me. He just wanted to slap a heart monitor on me. I guess that's all they could do at the time, do a CT scan. And I'm like, this doesn't sound right. Plus he was condescending, and I felt like I wasn't listened to. I came in with some knowledge. I've been researching. I said, I think I have metabolic syndrome. Oh, he just laughed at me and said, oh, that's not anything. That's just go get a heart monitor and let's check your, do a CT scan. Well, I just left and I thought about it, and I never went back. I remember asking my neighbor across the street who was diabetic, I said, do you get a rapid heart rate? And then I remember thinking about the supplements I would use. If I would do cinnamon, crack some liquid cinnamon in my mouth, they would actually lower my blood sugar response. I heard a heart rate would go down. And using things like PGX always helped me lower my sugar response. So I did a lot of reading and a lot of practicing and a lot of diets and fine-tuning everything to see what was going to work for my body and what was happening in my body. I didn't know I was pre-diabetic at the time, but I was, 185 to 200 pounds. That's insulin resistance. That's pre-diabetes. And if you don't stop this, what's going to happen is it's just going to get worse. If the later you do the later you wait to do something, there's always damage happening in the body. And so we don't want to wait till we become sick, till we become diabetic. We want to address it sooner to stop that blood sugar dysregulation, reduce the incidence of insulin resistance. That is the whole goal that needs to happen. And decreasing your carb intake overall. And so part of what I have discovered is that, I started on Atkins, but I didn't actually consider Atkins at the time. It was helpful, but long term, I didn't feel like it had good holistic health qualities towards the food. And it was, to me, more of a good reboot, but it didn't fit my lifestyle per se. I needed a different type of lifestyle. And so I was researching functional health and nutrition and working at a natural food store at the time, studying supplementations, getting really strong about supplementations, and really understanding how those work in the body. And even now, more so, understanding how a protocol can work to help support the body. So then I discovered the Bulletproof Diet and went to the conference and started the Bulletproof Diet. And I learned from all of that. I took that, my brain started back up. I started to feel amazing. And all of a sudden I'm realizing, okay, I just need to study the Adapt Functional Health Coaching Program. And I'm super excited to find out more about what's going on in my body and how to support myself ongoing to be healthy. It was super exciting. So I just jumped into it, become a functional health coach. And then I'm thinking, okay, functional diagnostic nutrition. Now I can really help people tune into their health and well-being and actually find unique ways to help people, and individualized and personalized with diagnostic labs, and help myself more. And so to me, this was something I had to do because I'm like, this is so exciting. I'm definitely going to be doing this. And so I did. And I studied that in 2020. I knocked it out in 4 months, and then an extra month to do the testing. And then it was good. And so I was super excited to find all of a sudden, I was just on fire. I was on, I had a passion. I felt like I had a purpose. I was ready to start working with people and help people reverse and eliminate their symptoms of diabetes, and to actually get their health back under control, to reclaim their life and get their vitality back. And so even though I was studying Dave Asprey all along and I got a lot of results from him, I didn't find that it was the 100% perfect for what I needed to do, as I was with everything I was learning with functional health and nutrition, and then working with women over 50 for my age group specifically, and even for men. It's very powerful. But what I fine tuning with my holistic low carb method, and why it's different from the bulletproof diet as well as from the Atkins diet, is it's based on more lifestyle management for what women over 50 need to do, especially for building muscle and to actually have a more of a reverse aging lifestyle for longevity. And so I have created that with the diagnostic labs to help you fine tune what's going on in your body so that you can collapse the time, not spend 25 years to figure out what to do with your health, because at this time we don't have that much time left. And we want to enjoy the time that we have the best body, not feel overweight, be able to get those clothes in the closet to fit, and feel slender for summer. And then how about slender forever? That's what I'm doing. And this is what the holistic low carb method is all about. Slender forever, not gaining the weight back once you learn how to take it off. And so you want to look at epigenetics. This is an epigenetic process where I am helping you use your environment as well as your food as medicine to your body, and methylation, and getting the right supplementation so that you could actually create a lifestyle plan, a roadmap back to health quickly, collapsing the time it takes to do it, because we're going to use 5 diagnostic labs to find out what your hidden healing opportunities are, so we can find those weight loss blocks and get you healthy again, to help feeling vibrant, looking radiant, and aging beautifully and adventurously. So that's why the program has changed over the years as I've actually lived the experience. This is a health adventure experience I am living. This is my lifestyle. And that's one of the reasons why I am the expert here, with all of my knowledge and training, all my lived experience, all the books I've read, 100 books or more. And just really dialing this in, living it, experiencing it, getting it into my mind with this lived experience, my certainty, my conviction of exactly what it is that you need to do. And so I know what you need to do, and I'm going to take you there. And so I've, lost the last 60 pounds, because I've lost a total of 100 pounds. I've lost the last 60 pounds or 60 pounds in menopause as a woman over 50. And now, maybe that doesn't sound as powerful as losing 100 pounds, but the biggest part of this is I have kept off 95 pounds as I'm starting to gain muscle. And so that 100 pounds that I lost, I am now building muscle. And so when you start to build muscle, you start to gain some weight, which is good, because we want to have longevity. To have longevity, we need to have more muscle mass in our body, and we want to stay healthy and not just be all of a sudden fall down and break a bone or break a hip or break your back. And then all of a sudden 6 months later, that's not good news. And so the holistic low carb method is a longevity factor, bringing in epigenetics so that we can turn off the disease causing genes in your body, flip that sugar switch off, and actually manage your blood sugar regulation, reduce the insulin resistance in your body, and actually help you reduce your risk of damaging your body and stop damaging your body now, so that you'll have the health you need now. So if you wait to make changes, you damage your body further along the line. So the way that diabetes works is initially, and it could take 20 years to develop. However, it could even accelerate more towards the end. And when you go to the medical system, they can't fix this because they don't actually correct this problem. They only monitor it. And then they give you drugs to just monitor the symptoms, but it doesn't really help you reverse the process or reduce your blood sugar regulation. So if they're just going to give you a drug, you're going to eat the same foods. You're not going to actually reverse your risk for disease, but in the process, you're getting neuropathy. You're having pains in your feet. If you have any kind of carpal tunnel, any kind of vision problems, that's all related to the sugar crush on the body from the blood sugar levels being raised. And so you're going to continuously damage your body until you do become diabetic. So don't think that if you're in this reference range and you're pre-diabetic, you're okay. Or even if you're they haven't been told you're pre-diabetic, you haven't quite popped over the range, but you have insulin resistance, you're overweight, you have obesity. That's a term that's now called diabesity by Dr. Mark Hyman, because it is obesity and diabetes. And from the functional health ranges, if you're overweight by a certain amount and have obesity, you are actually pre-diabetic and you're headed to diabetes, and you're getting the damage in your body. So you want to practice epigenetics, flip that sugar switch off. So at the beginning, I was talking about if you could remove one food from your diet, what would it be that's going to support you? Well, that one specific food is just going to be simple sugar. And so why? Because you can't get healthy and lower your blood sugar if there's too much sugar in your body. And even people who are slender can still have elevated blood sugar dysregulation and be skinny on the outside but still have inflammatory visceral fat on the inside, which you could still be pre-diabetic. And so you can't get healthy with sugar, too much sugar in the diet, because that's going to lead to that diabesity, and that's causing those epigenetics to be happening. So that's expression of your DNA. And so you could either have good expression of your DNA, or you can have poor expression of your DNA, depending on what's going on in your environment. And so you get to change that. You have control over that. So to reduce the inflammation, to reduce the pain in your body, to actually get healthy, you want to express healthy DNA signaling to flip that sugar switch off, flip off that disease-causing genes, and get your blood sugar regulated and stop the diabetes from developing in your body. And so that's what that burden of sugar does to our body. So if you could just do one thing, take out sugar and maybe go down, start using allulose. There's some good recommendations or understandings there with Ben Bickman on how allulose is a GLP-1 activator. And so why not use allulose? Put some monk fruit with it. I don't ever feel the need to bring in any kind of sugar to my diet. If I want something sweet, at this point, I'll have some blueberries or some berries, but we don't really need. And sugar is non-essential. Don't let anybody tell you that sugar is essential. It is non-essential. We do not need it in our body. And we do not even need it as the glucose source for our brain, because your brain will create glucose, neoglucogenesis, from protein. And the brain actually loves working on ketones. That's why I've got so much energy. It's because I could get my brain to work on ketones. And if my body needs glucose, the little bit of food from vegetables I eat and from the neoglucogenesis is going to give me glucose for my brain. We do not need it. And so if you could do one thing for yourself, take out the sugar. And because that's just a burden. That's a burden on your body. And so the other part of that is when I say the word sugar, sugar also means glucose. And so if you want to dial this up a little bit more and go into the next step, maybe for the first month, take out the sugar. Also, then start going in your kitchen. Where's all the hidden sugars? Look for all the hidden sugars in your pantries, in your sauces, in everything, on your jars, in your boxes. The other thing that's kind of tricky here is to realize that wheat turns into glucose in your blood system, which is sugar. So your blood glucose is sugar in your body, and it raises your blood sugar more than sugar alone. And so if you're still eating wheat, thinking you're eating healthy, and you still have diabetes, and even oatmeal, it's like there's 73 carbs in a bowl of oatmeal, and then you're adding sugar to that. That's just horrendous. So you want to keep your carbohydrates under 25. And so when you start to reduce the sugar, and then you start to reduce the wheat, those are the two foods that you can take out. So when you do that, those two things alone are going to be huge in helping you reverse insulin resistance and helping you lower and balance your blood sugar. And so that is super powerful of things that you can do. And that's when you replace those, you could find keto breads, you can find low carb breads, try to get the ones without the wheat gluten, but magic happens. That's how come I can get to where I am now, and how I've developed my program is I look at all these details, and I look at it holistically, and I look at it from an epigenetic perspective as how we can flip that sugar switch off and actually start your body to behave in a way that you actually manage your DNA healthily. And so it's not about finding out what's going on with your DNA. It is about how you're going to express the DNA that you have. And so we want to be able to methylate. We want B vitamins. We want glutathione. Are we getting the right nutrients? Are we getting the right digestion? All of these things are going to help us figure out how we're going to get our body to work the way it's supposed to. And so all of this was kind of leading up to why we need to take that one thing out of our diet to lose the weight, get slender for summer, slender forever, and stay with me, because I've got a special pop-up special at the end that I want to talk about. But the Atkins did help me in the early days, but it just wasn't as holistic as I would like to be. And then the bulletproof diet was, that's where I cut my teeth too. It's like it really made the difference and gave me somebody to follow, somebody to learn from, something to really fine tune my health and my body. But it was doing it a little deeper, going a little bit, and not restrictive wise, but opportunity wise, is to figure out how I could create a lifestyle to be slender forever and to age beautifully and adventurously my way, so that I could have longevity and not have to worry about, and to look at it from a perspective of a woman over 50 and what we need to have that longevity. And so those are all the things that I focus on, even, how I lost my weight. And it's with functional diagnostic nutrition practice with DRESS. We have to address the lifestyle factors. That's part of the epigenetic environment aspect. When you practice these epigenetic switches and you manage your movement, your circadian balance, your grounding, when you get that sunlight on your skin, all of these are going to express the DNA that you want to work for you, because you're going to be absorbing more energy, getting more vitamin D3 naturally with the skin, using the right healthy fats. See, with Atkins, it wasn't on quality, and it wasn't about nutritious sweeteners. It was just low carb, but it wasn't about holistic functional nutrition. And so my holistic low carb method is going to be a little more along those lines, so that it is a longevity factors. And that's what we want to look at. All right, just going to glance at my notes a little bit because I got off track here as I started getting into this. But, my journey has been so powerful. It's just, we have to look at this as that we cannot lose the weight on a diet, because we cannot lose the weight long term. If you're on a diet, it might work temporarily, but it's not going to work long term. We want to be able to get rid of the cravings, right? We want to be able to reduce the inflammation, and then there's pain in the body. We want to reduce that. So if you have knee pain and hip pain and sciatica and fascialis, or, any pain in the body that's, nervous system crush from the sugar that we're eating, we need to reduce all of that. And the only way you can do that is to actually balance your blood sugar, reduce the balance, reset your metabolism. That's part of the process. And when you do that, you get to reduce your risk of diabetes to increase longevity. And I'm talking 10 to 20 years of quality life. Because if you don't focus on that, what's the quality of life you're going to have? And when you're starting to live longer and you get to be active, you get to see your grandkids grow up and get on the ground and off the ground and be able to get up and move around and do the things that you want to do. And so that's the direction that I'm going to take you in. So the later you start this process, the more damage you're going to get in your body. So let's address the fact that you want to get started sooner or later. So one of the things that I've decided to do is I've got a pop-up special for May. And this pop-up special is going to be a 6-week special using the MRT food sensitivity test, so that you can actually create your food map based on your test results. So this is going to be customized and individualized for a 6-week process where you get the results, and we're going to have 30-minute calls a week so that we can dial in your diet and get you started weight loss wise, reduce that inflammation, get rid of the food sensitivities, and really jumpstart your metabolism. And that's just the beginning step. So if you wanted to do this, it's a 6-week special, And I'm going to be taking calls all next week. So if this is something you're interested in, DM me. We'll get on a call, talk about that program as well as other options, because I want to find out where you are and what you truly need and where your interests are. But this is going to be something that is going to be really cool. It gets slender for summer. I'm always talking about that. This is something I only offer usually once a year. So I'm just doing it right now in May. I don't know if I'll repeat it, but it's going to be a spring special. Pop up Slender Forever. Let's get jumpstart to weight loss. Lose that 5 to 10 pounds and feel more slender in your body, so you can start wearing the clothes that you want to wear and feel good to get outside and wear, and to be able to, like my client was just saying, I could slip on my jeans more easily now. I could button them up. It's so easy. I feel so content. My clients are losing weight. I mean, 9 pounds down, 20 pounds down, 3 more pounds this week, 5 more pounds this week. They're all losing weight. And I'm so grateful that my program is helping them turn off the pain of inflammation, reset their blood sugar dysregulation, find the hidden healing opportunities in their body. Keep in mind, ladies, weight gain is a symptom of something going wrong in your body. It's a symptom of insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, and it only will get worse and progress. And the medical system cannot fix this. They do not work on they like to make it sound like they can, but they don't actually reverse the symptoms of these diseases that come up. They just manage them, help you manage them. And so if you want to get to the next level, stop that type of management and actually reverse your disease process by practicing epigenetics with my holistic low carb method, I have 3-month, 6-month program and this 6-week pop-up program. So there's going to be different layers of testing. So I'd love to find out which one you're interested in. You might not even realize what you're interested in, but I have many layers to help you get what it is that you need so that you could have that health that you want, and to get it this year so that you can get back to living and not have to progress in any disease and accept being sick and unhealthy, because sometimes people just don't know what they don't know, and that's what I'm here for, to guide you there. So if this is something you want, I am here to help guide you. And 6 weeks, you could start feeling slender. If you want a 6-month full one-on-one signature program that you get me in your back pocket, then I've got that too. So let's get on a call, and I'd love to find out more about you. And have an amazing weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.